All right, everyone, get ready because today we're diving into something crucial for any organization that truly values its people: talent management.
And I am so here for this.
But we're not just skimming the surface here. We're going deep, deep, deep with Nara Koné's framework.
And I love her perspective. She's an HR expert, she's an entrepreneur, and she's got this finger on the pulse of the tech world, which gives her such a unique take on it.
Totally. And her approach is really refreshing because it doesn't treat talent as just, another box to tick off on a to-do list. We're talking about the entire employee life cycle here. From that moment, you start searching for the right candidate all the way through to, believe it or not, offboarding.
It's about time we stopped overlooking offboarding.
Right.
It's crazy how often it's an afterthought.
So true. So Koné breaks this whole journey down into 5 distinct phases. Think of it like a roadmap to building that dream team, which is what everyone wants, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? This is the perfect time to be having this conversation because companies are finally realizing, especially in today's market, that talent isn't just a cost center, it's their competitive edge.
100%. So let's jump right into that first phase. Koné calls it the talent hunt. Well, hold on. She's not talking about posting some vague job description online and hoping for a miracle.
Oh no, she's all about precision.
Exactly. It's about crafting a job description that's so crystal clear that only the right people even bother to apply.
Think of it like, those really detailed online dating profiles.
Yeah.
You've got to stand out from the crowd. Be upfront about what you're looking for. You want to attract those candidates who don't just check the boxes, but who really vibe with your company culture, right?
You're preaching to the choir here. And that means thinking beyond the typical job boards, right?
Oh, absolutely. Don't limit yourself.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, those niche job boards that cater to specific industries, even those AI-powered tools that are popping up everywhere.
AI is changing the game.
It's crazy. It's all about fishing where the fish are, right? You want to cast a wide net, but make sure it's the right net.
Love that analogy. Okay, so you've got a pool of promising candidates. Now what?
Don't rush into things.
Koné cautions against getting blinded by a shiny resume.
It's so easy to do, though.
It really is. Evaluating talent runs way deeper than ticking off skills on a checklist.
It's about cultural fit. Will this person thrive in your company's unique environment? Will they mesh well with the team? It's like that feeling when you're part of a team that just clicks. Everyone's on the same page, the energy's high. That's cultural fit. And getting that right from the get-go, it's huge. Saves you so much hassle down the line.
And that brings us to what Koné calls welcome aboard, which I have to say is one of my favorite phases. She is not messing around with onboarding.
It makes all the difference.
It truly does. She sees it as much more than just a formality. Those first few days can really make or break the employee experience.
100%. You wouldn't throw someone in the driver's seat without any instruction, right? Onboarding is about making those new hires feel comfortable, supported, and ready to hit the ground running.
So give us the inside scoop. What are some of those key elements of onboarding done right? What makes that initial experience so crucial?
Think of it like giving someone a map and a compass on their first day in a new city. You've got to give them the lay of the land, a solid company overview, thorough training on your systems. But critically, and this is where a lot of companies miss the mark, you've got to prioritize those early connections.
I'm with you on that. Building relationships within the team can really make or break the experience for a new hire. I'd love to hear more about some of the most effective onboarding practices you've come across. What really stands out to you?
For me, nothing beats a well-structured mentorship program. You pair that newbie with a seasoned pro who can offer guidance, support, someone to bounce ideas off of. It works wonders.
It's invaluable.
And never, ever underestimate the power of a genuine, engaging team introduction.
Making people feel seen and welcome from the very start.
Precisely. That first impression, it sets the tone for their entire employee experience.
It's about belonging. And speaking of growth, which is where we naturally go next in an employee's journey, Koné's next phase is all about nurturing that talent. This is where things get really exciting.
Koné is all about continuous development training, personalized growth plans, clear career paths. It's all on the table. And it's not just about the employee, right? It's about showing your team that you're invested in their future, which, let's be honest, benefits everyone in the long run.
It's essential, especially in today's crazy job market. Things are changing so fast. What skills are hot today might be obsolete tomorrow. 100%. Embracing continuous learning, it's not just a nice to have anymore. It's essential for everyone, employees and organizations alike. If you're not growing, you're falling behind.
It's like learning a new dance move. You got to stay with the times if you want to stay on the dance floor, right?
Okay.
So let's shift gears a bit and talk retention, because let's be real, who doesn't want to hold on to their rock star talent?
It's the holy grail, isn't it?
Koné, of course, highlights the usual suspects, competitive compensation, those awesome benefits packages, a positive work environment, which are all important, no doubt. But for you, what really jumped out at you from what Koné was saying? What's that secret sauce when it comes to keeping those top performers engaged and sticking around for the long haul? For me, it was how she emphasizes the importance of providing opportunities for growth. It makes sense though, right? Employees today, they're not just looking for a paycheck. They want to feel challenged.
Totally. They want to learn, to grow, to see a future for themselves within the company.
Exactly. It's about creating those pathways for advancement, whether it's a promotion, a new project, a chance to mentor others.
And it's not always about climbing that traditional corporate ladder either.
Right. It could be a lateral move that allows them to expand their skill set. It's about tailoring those growth opportunities to individual aspirations and career goals.
It's about personalization, recognizing that everyone's definition of success is different. Now, I want to switch gears for a moment and touch on something that's become a major part of the conversation around work, remote work.
It's the new normal for so many, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
So how does Koné's framework apply to this new world of work? I feel like it adds a whole new layer of complexity.
It does, but it's not about reinventing the wheel. A lot of her principles, they translate beautifully to the remote environment. Take communication, for example. It's always been important, but in a remote setting, it's mission critical.
100%. You don't have those casual water cooler moments or those quick chats in the hallway anymore.
Exactly. You've got to be way more intentional about creating those opportunities for connection and collaboration when you're not physically together. Regular check-ins, virtual team-building activities, they're not just nice-to-haves anymore. They're essential for maintaining a sense of team cohesion.
It's about combating that feeling of isolation that can easily creep in when you're working remotely.
Totally. It all comes back to adapting those core principles of talent management to the unique challenges and, let's not forget, opportunities of a virtual workplace.
Because there's some perks to remote work too. All right, I'm ready to dive into that final phase of Koné's framework, the one that I think often gets swept under the rug.
Let's do it. Hit me with it.
It's the exit strategy, offboarding done right. And no, I'm not talking about a half-hearted goodbye party with stale pizza.
Although I do love pizza, but I hear you.
It's about recognizing that how you say goodbye matters just as much as how you say hello.
Koné's really big on that. She stresses that offboarding shouldn't be an afterthought. It should be this structured, respectful process. And it all starts with those exit interviews.
Okay, so let's talk about exit interviews because they often get a bad rap.
Because they're often done wrong. But when done well, exit interviews can be pure gold.
Tell me more.
It's a chance to glean invaluable insights into what's working well within the organization, and perhaps more importantly, what needs a little love.
It's not just about asking, why are you leaving?
Right. It's about digging a little deeper, uncovering any underlying issues, understanding what could have been done differently,
It's about turning those departures into opportunities for growth, even if it's bittersweet.
Exactly. And of course, there's the logistical side of things, the paperwork, the handing over of company property, all that jazz. But even that, Koné emphasizes, it's not just about ticking boxes.
It's about maintaining that human connection, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's about acknowledging the employees' contributions, wishing them well on their next adventure. These gestures, they go a long way in maintaining a positive employer brand.
Which is more important than ever these days, right? Word of mouth travels fast, especially online.
Totally. A negative offboarding experience, it can really tarnish a company's reputation. Someone who feels disgruntled, they're far more likely to share that negative experience with others.
Whereas a positive offboarding experience, that can turn a former employee into a brand ambassador.
Now you're talking. They might even recommend your company to someone in their network, or who knows, they might even boomerang back one day.
That's the dream.
It really is. But it highlights a crucial point that Koné makes, which is that we need to remember that we're dealing with people here, not just resources. And how you treat them matters, even when they're on their way out the door.
That's such a good point. It's about recognizing that every interaction shapes an employee's perception of the organization, even that final handshake. So before we wrap things up here, let's bring it back to our listeners. What's the key takeaway you want everyone to walk away with today? What's that golden nugget of wisdom?
For me, it's that talent management. It's not just an HR function, it's a responsibility that we all share. It's a continuous cycle that runs through every facet of a successful organization, from that initial talent hunt to nurturing their growth and ensuring a positive exit. It's about creating a culture where people feel valued, respected, and empowered to bring their best selves to work every single day.
It's about recognizing that your people are your greatest asset.
100%. And what's really empowering about Koné's framework is that you don't need a fancy title to be a talent champion.
Oh, I love that. So for everyone listening, no matter where you sit within an organization, you can make a difference.
Exactly. Whether you're a CEO or an intern, you can advocate for these principles, you can encourage that culture of continuous learning, and you can help create that positive and supportive work environment.
So here's a question for everyone to ponder. How can you, within your own sphere of influence, bring even a small piece of Koné's framework to life?
What small change can you make today to be a better colleague, to champion someone's growth, or to simply make your workplace a little bit more human?
Because those seemingly small actions, when multiplied across a team, they have the power to create a ripple effect. It's amazing how those small gestures can have such a big impact.
It's so true. And that's what I appreciate about Koné's framework. It's not about some massive overhaul. It's about those small everyday actions. It's about bringing that mindfulness, that human touch to everything you do,
Absolutely. It's like you said earlier, sweating the small stuff, because those details, they add up.
They really do. They created this environment where people feel seen, they feel appreciated, and ultimately that's what empowers them to do their best work.
It's about creating a culture of respect and support, one interaction at a time. And, what I find really interesting is that when you embrace a framework like Koné's, you're not just building a better team, you're contributing to a larger shift in how we think about work in general.
100%. It's about moving away from that old school transactional approach to work and embracing something that feels more human, more sustainable.
It's about recognizing that people aren't robots. They have lives, they have families, they have passions outside of work. And when you create an environment that acknowledges that, everyone benefits.
Wow, absolutely. When people feel valued for who they are, not just what they do, that's when the magic happens. That's when you unlock that true potential.
So well said. Well, I think that's a perfect note to end on.
I agree.
We've covered so much ground today, exploring all 5 phases of Koné's talent management framework, from attracting those top-notch candidates to nurturing their growth and even saying goodbye in a way that leaves a lasting positive impression.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. And we hope that everyone listening has walked away with at least one actionable insight, one golden nugget of wisdom that they can take back to their own workplaces.
Because at the end of the day, talent management, it's not just an HR responsibility, it's something we can all champion.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.